Welcome back to another episode of War of Divisions Meta Mondays, where we discuss the upcoming meta that we expect to have. Couple of quick things about the meta. I don't think it will change. I think Kane, Dwayne, and Kane, Dwayne +1 would still be really strong. They are trying to push into a missile meta with the latest skill map. But I don't believe that will affect Kane Dwayne too much, because Kane and Dwayne both have a missile resist support skill. This is the map, the new Guild Battle map. It's got missile and accuracy up, so that is basically that's them pushing missile. But if you look at the layout of the map, it seems more like they're pushing archer than missile, because this type of up-down uneven terrain is really bad for gunner. So I'm expecting both of the teams to start by the door over here, by each of these doors. There is about 9 space gap in between them. So I don't think that the range is going to be a huge deal because of the space between them and them having to cross it. But at least you're not expected to get hit by Frederica or niv'lu first turn, because Frederica and niv'lu can get up to 9 range and can get up to 9 range passively with aim fire. So having this much distance in the beginning is a good thing, because you can buff up before they actually hit you. So you can get stuff like Sentinel, Protect, Cecil Shield, all that stuff off before they actually hit you. That being said, that area resist is gone, so you might see calculators make a return. Calculators' high range and height effectiveness might be very good for this map. But like I said, they're trying to push missile, but really I think they're just trying to push niv'lu and maybe Frederica to a lesser extent. Because I don't think Luarta and Lucia can do too well on a map where it's not that even. Especially Lucia, because her range is shorter. Luarta can get like a range of 8. But yeah, like I said, I don't see Dwayne or Kane going anywhere. It is of note that thancred is here now, or thancred is coming back, and people that weren't building thancred might consider building him now. And that's mostly because thancred can get up to 100% missile resist. Like, say what you will about his stats and his lackings, he may or may not even get his second master ability this time around. But the problem here is, regardless of all that, he still can get 100% missile resist. So if you end up running any kind of triple gunner build, you might actually get screwed if you run into the thancred. So in that kind of situation, if you are running triple gunner and you happen to pull niv'lu, I would say like leave niv'lu as a time mage and leave Comet on, because thancred is super weak to magic, so 2 Comets might actually 2-shot him. I don't know if he can. I underestimate his damage a bit, but I think he probably can't 1-shot niv'lu, especially with niv'lu's high evade. But there is accuracy on this map, so that high evade may or may not even matter. That being said, though, this map is definitely for niv'lu. The plan is for them to, before they get here, for you to break all their crap, for you to cast a bunch of stat effects on them, and you have barrier breaker arrow. So as they come over, they're gonna get hit by a barrier breaker arrow. So this is definitely a niv'lu map, to a lesser extent. Not as good for Frederica. Also, because if you're running triple gunner, generally triple gunner runs some kind of like gunner main, dual gunner sub, or vice versa. So the weakness to triple gunner teams is they don't have a lot of damage types. So that's why if you have niv'lu, I would suggest keeping her as Comet, in the off chance that you run into a 100% missile resist thancred. And I'm not sure how rare that's gonna be. Like sometimes like you might never see a 100% missile resist thancred, or sometimes the news might get out that hey, he can actually be 100% missile resist, and you can kind of get him for free. So people might just run thancred as 100% missile resist just to mess with these 100, just to mess with these triple gunner teams. But that's hard to say. Also, calculators will probably make a comeback here because of the area resist being gone. The thing with calculators is kind of a healer for this type of guild map. I would say probably go with Grace. Ildira is going to be really weak on this map because niv'lu and Frederica are a thing. And at 9 range, they can one-shot you. On top of the missile resist, they will definitely one-shot you. So Ildira is probably out for this skill map. Leela and Ayaka, I guess, would be okay. But Rosa is a thing, and Rosa can easily one-shot those two. But not as well as Frederica and niv'lu can, because Rosa's range is only 7 as opposed to 9. So it's just some stuff to keep in mind. Might be time to consider running Grace, because she doesn't have a direct gunner weakness. Technically she does in Ryu, but Ryu no one runs. Like, no one runs MR Ryu. Okay, off to the quests. I think that will probably be the only major change in the meta. If we're still playing on that snowfield map, let me see if we are. If we're still playing on that snowfield map, I think niv'lu would be super strong on that map. Yeah, we're still playing on the snowy mountain map. niv'lu would be super strong on this map, even stronger than Frederica. Because I play Frederica a lot, and her 9 range basically allows anyone to hit allows you to hit anyone after they make that turn right in the beginning. But niv'lu supposedly has 2 jump, and that 2 jump can be huge because she can run straight and then shoot people. That makes her susceptible to lancers, of course, but that is an issue. That is a risk that you'll have to run. But and I had that issue as well with what's her face, Christmas Moshery, because Christmas Moshery has 4 jump and she keeps running forward. And I had to figure out a way to combat that. But niv'lu, on the other hand, I think 2 jump, she might not be able to run so far ahead. I think she might still be a good chunk. I think she might still be far back enough that she'll still be safe. So that's what I think will probably be the 2 big meta changers. One is the Guild War map, and 2 is niv'lu. Thancred is already there, and he's not really making any waves. Maybe if people max him out, it'll change. But realistically, like I said, I don't see Dwayne and Kane going anywhere. You may see some rise in Gunner a little bit, but not enough that Thancred would be a thing. Because Thancred would get wrecked by Dwayne and Kane. Mostly because he doesn't have any diagonal ability. He has a good chunk of resistances, but he's light, so he's weak to dark. Oh wait, he's not weak to dark. Thancred is actually not weak to dark, but I feel like they wouldn't really stand much of a chance against Dwayne and Kane, especially without any diagonal skills. Anyways, this is already the one that's running right now, so this is basically just getting extended. So Axe, Sword, Great Sword, Axe, Great Sword, and Sword. I don't know why this one's being upgraded, because I guess that's for Lionheart replica, but this quest is giving you the Killer Bow. So Killer Bow, this is probably the best bow in the game at the moment. I would say even better than Elven Bow, because Elven Bow doesn't give any kind of missile damage. I don't know why. So I'm going to be hunting this for my Rosa. And I have enough bow books left to make one bow. So me not pulling niv'lu probably would be a good idea. Mainly not pulling niv'lu because I have Frederica, and about the same range. niv'lu might be a little bit stronger, but doesn't have sure hit attack, so not big enough of an upgrade. Not big enough of an upgrade for me to really go for niv'lu. But then you also realize, like, the Saiga and Golga thing, right? These are the ninja clans, and you kind of just figure out something that's kind of funny, because like niv'lu, Mario, Skull, this girl, and Lorelia. None of them are ninjas. Like, really? This is a ninja clan, and nobody has a ninja sub job. Like, I'm not even asking for a main job ninja. Nobody even has a ninja sub job. What's up with that? Anyways, so this is just basically Killer Bow and the Great Sword quest. Nothing really changing there. Killer Bow is not going to be a meta-breaking item. Would be good to have would be good to finally have a decent bow. I think the best one before that was Rune Bow. The difference is about 20 damage, but I'd never really built the Rune Bow, so that will help. I believe we will end up getting 75. We'll end up getting 7,500 of these free visual in the next 10 days. 5 from here. Well, actually more like 10,000, because you get you get 5,000 here, and you get another concurrent event running at the same time. That will give you another 2,500, and then probably another one the week after. So you'll get something like 10,000 visual within the next 2 weeks. Double item and JP campaign. Unfortunately, this could not have come later because of all the items that, well, mostly for me because I got the weapon pass, but this would really help you farm those black sand, vivid fluid, the sap, etc. from the actual quest. Which reminds me, the latest Chapter 11, Part 1, Quest 10, that drops both black sand and vivid fluid. So that's one of the best. That's one of the best places for you to burn these tickets on. To burn your skip tickets on. Other than that, yeah, I don't see the. By the way, I don't see the MR unit. Nervilla, whatever her name is. I don't see her being useful. She's not changing the meta at all. Realistically, I don't think niv'lu is changing the meta either. But what niv'lu does is she makes it easier for gunners to fight teams that have tanks. Because right now I run a triple gunner team, and having to bust through a tank that has a healer, or just to bust through a tank like Warrior of Light, is incredibly annoying. Because they keep using shield, they keep using defense up, etc. niv'lu has a defense breaking shot that will break all that, and she has defense penetration. She has the ability to reduce defense by 38 with her ultimate. So niv'lu would be your answer to tanks. So ranged tank buster. I don't think Y'shtola is really going to change the meta at all. I don't even think... I think Y'shtola might be okay in PvP. I mean, might be okay in PvE. I don't think she's viable in PvP. Someone might prove me wrong, but I don't think she's viable in PvP. Same thing with thancred. Hell, I don't even think thancred is all that viable in PvE either. The only good side to thancred is that pairs well with Steko and Ramza, so you guys can have a light slash team. And that light slash team is actually really good against Golbaz. But yeah, Golbaz ain't coming around for a long time. So realistically, what I'm really after here is the Final Fantasy XIV cards. Hopefully those cards I can get relatively cheaply. Other than that, like, I don't see either of these two units being insane. Thancred might be okay, but like, okay, exclusive weapons. Lionheart Replica, I think, is his only weapon, which is awkward to say, because he uses, I think he can equip swords, but I think Lionheart weapon is his only weapon. Also, it's interesting that these gauntlets are an accessory, not a shield, not a piece of armor, so that can be equipped on anybody. The gauntlets might change the meta, but it doesn't say what the gauntlets do, so if the gauntlets are pretty insane, it might change the meta. But acquiring thancred, collect reissue medals that come with, fixed chance to summon thancred. So there's a bunch of these free summon tickets that you might be able to use to summon Thancred. So might be able to get Thancred for free. But then again, even then, like maxing him out will take a ton of resources, and he's not particularly strong. I might just max him out so he can like tank missile for me. He's also got a good chunk of other resists, so he's good at resisting Pierce and Slash as well. But the thing with going up to 100% Slash with Thancred is Exorcist is a thing now, so you're not really going to see 100% sword resist Thancred be a thing, because you'll still get wrecked by Exorcist. On top of which, he doesn't have a innate threat generator, so even if you can get him to 100% slash resist, it's like, what are you gonna do with that? You're not gonna hit hard. So that's not really gonna make that big of a difference. I think the big meta changers are gonna be the cards. Not so much the Scion of Shadow, but the Shadowbringers card. That one coming back. Not Shadowbringers, Bringers of Shadow. Oh my gosh, why the hell did you name a card Bringer of Shadows and the other one Shadowbringers? This is Fire Unit Magic Up. The FFB wiki has it wrong. FFB has it as Magic Up 30. But this is... No wait, that doesn't work, because there's only one magic unit that's Fire type, and that's Y'shtola. The other Fire units don't really cast magic. Well, technically you can put this on Rain. And have, you can technically put this on Rain, but it's like, what are you gonna have them do? Jamming Thrust, I guess? But then Rain can't tank, so you'll have to have some kind of Bruiser Rain build with this, which is still okay. I mean, the cool thing about this card is, it gives magic up, and it gives attack up, so those times where you want to fit in a magic unit into an attack team, this would be useful. But probably mostly useful for Rain. Y'shtola I don't foresee being used, period. So probably not too good there. Y'shtola... Oh, okay, it does say Thancred gets his second master ability, that's good. Thancred's second master ability gets another 10% HP, I believe, another 100 attack, and I think there's some slash damage as well. Light attack up. Those of you that didn't get this card might get a chance to get this card back. Shadowbringers, Dark Resist. I think all three of these cards are actually pretty good, especially for an upcoming Light and Dark meta. I think these will be the real meta changers. You're gonna see a whole bunch of these cards. You're gonna see a whole bunch of these three cards. Hopefully you can get them for cheap with these tokens as well. But other than that, I don't really see, even with these cards, I really don't see Dwayne and Kane going anywhere. They might add on, and then for the bonus, people might do something like Dwayne, Kane, niv'lu. Because that third unit is actually really flexible. If you're running some kind of, you can run something like Dwayne, Kane, niv'lu, and then instead of Diablo as a card or Exorcist as a card, you give niv'lu Ifrit, and run them that way. So Dwayne Kane is very flexible. You can pretty much do anything you want with them. You can even do Dwayne Kane Thancred if you want, if Thancred is a bonus unit. Dwayne Kane Thancred might actually be better than Dwayne Kane niv'lu if you max out his missile resist. But yeah, that being said, I don't think the meta's really changing all that much. Maybe in Guild Wars because of the new map. And that's really it. The new vision cards are pretty good, but not enough that it'll change the meta. That's more of a, those cards are more of a future meta thing for like when Yuna comes out, where it becomes like a light and dark battle. I think that would be cool to see, but basically what it does is it helps you combat dark, which is really good. But the thing with those cards is, I want to get them because they're limited, but it's a lot of the they're nothing special. Like the dark resist card. Okay, let's start with the bringer of shadow card. That gives 50. This gives 50% attack up. Ifrit gives 50% attack up, so I already have Ifrit maxed out. So I may or may not even want this. The other one is these other two cards is also kind of a hit or miss. Light attack up. I'm not really running. Not so many people are running a light setup, but this might be good for a light setup. But it's obviously crappy compared to Diablos, the dark version. Dark resist is okay because there's a ton of dark running around, so this card might be okay to get. This one not so much, because this one there is what's that called? Fated Clash. Fated Clash now, and Fated Clash is not limited. That being said, Fated Clash does not offer you dark attack up and light resist down. So this would be okay against dark versus dark comps. Maybe good for this may be a good option for those Thwain Kane and Super Stern combos where you fight the mirror a lot. But yeah, the big shakeups are going to be the 3 cards and the map, and to a lesser extent niv'lu. But yeah, I don't really see the meta changing all that much. It might change even more next week because of new stuff coming out after that, and because of people actually maxing out niv'lu and maybe thancred to a certain extent. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in to Monday Meta. As always, these are kind of my opinions of where I think the meta is gonna go. It may or may not go that way. Like when I said like, hey, we might see a water meta with Ramada and Xmas Mastery coming out. Well, nobody pulled for them because it was right after Final Fantasy IV. So sometimes you gotta consider people's pockets as well. I do think a lot of people will pull for niv'lu. One, because she's really, really good. Insane range, status effects, etc. But also, you got that little downtime in between. We got some downtime for that downtime card pull. So I don't think too many people pull for these last 2 vision cards. And on top of that, you got the Hiroki's gift. So really, people are sitting around maybe 10 to 20k Visual, depending on how hard they saved after Thwain, that it might be possible to pull for niv'lu and be okay. But that being said, like, I'd rather get niv'lu naturally because she's not a big enough upgrade from Frederica for me to really want to do that. Alright, thank you guys for watching.